Good morning, YouTube. It is a beautiful Sunday morning here in West Virginia, and I am going to try to take you guys through a full day of eating today. I attempted this a couple weeks ago and ended up not being able to film everything, and I jacked it all up, so I just said, you know what, we'll try again another day. Using my GoPro here, so if things are a little awkward, I'm sorry. But getting the meals ready for the day. Already got my rice on. Already taking my vitamins this morning. Normally I start the day with a pack of hydration formula. And I'm out, so wasn't able to start the day off with that, but did have a bottle of water. Got the rice on already. My first two whole meals prepped, so this is meal 2 and meal 3. And I just always cook those together. It's always just been easier for me to do it that way. So, and I'm about to have breakfast, so I will show you guys what I do for breakfast. And yeah, let's get the day started. If I talk in circles, it's because the brain fog is real lately. And I think it's just, you know, we're not even in the trenches with prep yet. We're still, you know, quite a ways out. Looking for the first show to be in September. But, you know, body weight is dropping down to 200 pounds. We started prep after the priming holding phase at around 210, and we've lost 10 pounds since then. And yeah, we still got a while to go, but just here lately, like here the past week, I've really been feeling it. So brain fog has been real here these past couple days. Going to show you guys what I'm drinking here. So having me some black coffee, and there's this little coffee shop down the street that sells this brand of coffee, which is called Kentucky Mountain. But this French toast flavored, he just flavors the beans, so I drink my coffee black. But the French toast is what I'm drinking right now. It's my favorite. And then this is my second favorite, if you can see that, which is Grandma's oatmeal cookie, or yeah, Mama's oatmeal cookie. And both of those are fantastic. It's my two favorite blends from that company. So anytime that coffee shop gets those bags in, I try to get some, because I just I love black coffee, and it's the one thing that gets me through, especially when prep starts getting really, really tough. Black coffee's my go-to. So, but now I'm going to show you guys what I have been doing for breakfast. So normally it was a shake. Right now my breakfast is 150 grams of blueberries, 50 grams of whey isolate protein, and 20 grams of dark chocolate. So here lately I have been making, shout out to Jack Chan on Instagram. I noticed that he was making this whey paste, and I've seen a couple other people make whey paste before, but I had never tried it. I just went with a shake just because it was easier and quicker for me to do. Gotta dry my bowl here because I done dishes this morning. But this is way better than the shake I was having of the morning. So yeah, I have been eating this every morning since then. And it's been a lifesaver. So, first thing I do, I take my 20 grams of dark chocolate. Let me set this down here so you guys can at least see what I'm doing. So I take this dark chocolate, and I will heat this up in the microwave till this dark chocolate melts in the bottom, and then I will show you what I do from there. So the Cincinnati Natural happened this weekend, and I haven't got to see the full results of the show, but you know, if you guys have been following me, you know that was the first show that got me started, and I think that they hold a good show there. It's a very good show to get your feet wet and just have the experience of competing. And from some of the photos that I've seen, the guys looked, there were some guys that looked really good there. And you know, like I said, that was the first show that got me started and got my feet wet within bodybuilding. And I'd kind of had my sights set on that show for a long time whenever I had decided that, you know, competing was what I wanted to do. So I didn't know of any other shows around to do at that time when I found the Cincinnati Natural. And it was a good show. I really enjoyed it, really enjoyed that first time experience. But now we got our sights set on other things this year, which I will go more into as time gets closer. So I know for sure that the show that I have my eyes set on right now will be happening, just in case, you know, scheduling or something like that changes. But at this very moment, September is the one we have picked. So 50 grams of whey isolate protein. This is my favorite protein on the planet. Raw peanut butter chocolate. Now we will stir this up. So I've got my protein now over top of the dark chocolate that's melted. I'm going to stir this up first, kind of get that dark chocolate mixed around in the protein. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to slowly start to add water and kind of turn this into like a icing or a whey paste. So I'm going to add my water. And I just do like little bits at a time while I stir. Then I'll whip this up and get it as thick as I can. This will turn into like a real thick, almost like peanut butter consistency. And I'll add a little more water. Is what it should look like, or what I get mine to look like when it's done. So that is just peanut butter chocolate protein, 20 grams of dark chocolate. I apologize for that loud train. And I just slowly add my water. Like I said, and you can see how much water I used out of that bottle, not a whole lot. But I just slowly add the water until it turns into this nice little icing. And now I will grab the blueberries. All right, and there we have it, meal number one. 150 grams of blueberries, 50 grams of whey isolate, 20 grams of dark chocolate, made into this like little dessert. This GoPro stand is kind of awkward. I need to get a larger one, but yeah, so this is meal one. And typically, like on a work day when I have to go to work, I'll eat like my breakfast before I go to work. I'll eat meal two roughly around 11 o'clock, eat meal three roughly around 2 o'clock, come home, get prepared to go to the gym, go have my training session. Depending on what time I'm able to get to the gym and what time I get home. I normally have my dinner around 8-ish, 8:30-ish, 9 o'clock. And then I have my last meal before bed. And I try my best to eat that an hour before bed, but sometimes it don't always work that way. I just find this way more fulfilling than drinking a shake every morning. And you know, when you're, I don't have a lot of experience with preps. Obviously, this is my second one. But you find ways to make it like a little more enjoyable. And really, I do enjoy it. Like, even, you know, the shakes, I enjoyed them. But as things start to move forward and get a little harder, you find ways to be a little more creative. And this just kind of makes you feel like, you know, when you get down to the point where you're like super hungry and your brain starts telling you that you want all these things, this kind of makes you feel like you're getting that, like a dessert that you shouldn't be having while in prep. Kind of eases that a little bit. But for me personally, it's just never been hard for me to like stay the course. Once I have my mind set on what I want to do or what I'm supposed to be doing, I'm locked in. Now don't get me wrong, like it does get hard like with the cravings and stuff like that, but just as far as me like hard for me to stick with it, it's not. But I get cravings and stuff just like anybody else. And you know, the first part of my day, like I said, coffee is like one thing that really helps me. So I drink like 2 gallons of water a day. I was having like carbonated flavored waters with like the meal 2, but I cut those out. So now it's really just black coffee, water, and then like my intra and my pre-workout, you know, before the gym. And then once a week, I'll have 1 diet soda for now. In the future, you know, those will be cut out as well. But I have like a diet root beer. Normally on Friday nights after check-ins, because I don't want to be drinking that before I check in with AJ and take a chance on it causing me to hold any type of water or anything of the sort like that. So I normally drink it after check-ins, and then I go the rest of the week without it until the Friday after check-ins again. But coffee really helps me get through on days where I, you know, do have those struggles with cravings. Gotta stir my food and be right back. Another thing that I have personally found that is helpful, where I do drink a lot of water, most of the time it's these electrolyte or alkaline waters. and I drink a lot of these throughout the day. And I just feel they have like some flavor to them. But I also drink, like, I take to work with me a jug of spring water, and I'll drink that full gallon while I'm at work. And if I can get that full gallon drink while I'm at work, then I know I can knock out another 3.5 liters while I'm at home through these bottles. And I've had a lot of people tell me, like, it's really hard for them to drink a gallon of water a day, but I guess if you can, like, plan, like for me, I know that if I take a gallon of water with me to work, I work from 8 to 4 every day. So I know that I can get that gallon of water drank from 8 to 4. And then immediately when I get home, I have a half of one of these with my pre-workout, which is normally a non-stim pre, with my creatine and I'll have some beta-alanine in there as well. I'll drink that before the gym, and then I have another one of these bottles where I put my Intra, my EAAs, and a pack of hydration, and I sip on that while I'm training. Plus I'll have another one of these in my bag to drink while I'm at the gym as well. So not only am I sipping on that Intra workout, but I'm also sipping on one of those waters. And then, like I said, of the night with dinner, I'm not having any diet sodas or anything of the sort, so I'm just drinking another bottle of water with dinner. So I just kind of time my water out that way, and it just makes it easier for me to hit. I just kind of I have in my brain like a schedule of what it is I need to do, and I just stay on that routine every day. Now, obviously, life happens, and there's things that's out of your control, and sometimes that gets messed up. But until that happens, I stay the course every day, do the same routine every single day. And even when I wasn't in prep for my show, and it was just off season, I kept that routine the exact same. Got up every morning, had my breakfast before work. Always prep my 2 meals for work the night before. During the off season, I was allowed to have like off-plan meals occasionally. So I would have like one off-plan meal throughout the week, or 1 to 2 off-plan meals throughout the week when we was in deep off season. But still taking my water to work, drinking my water. Like, I just always have kept this schedule throughout the whole time. And I'd actually gotten a conversation with a friend the other day about this, because they said, well, you must have had a lot of like structure as a kid when it came to that stuff. And I was never a kid that was like, that lived with structure as far as like eating like on a routine, or I built this structure myself as a kid, you know, or as a young man. Before I started training, I didn't start training until I was 25. So even after I graduated high school, in my 20s up to when I started training, I ate like crap, slept like crap, did not have any structure whatsoever when it came to anything related to what I'm doing now. I completely changed my whole life. And it's not easy, it's hard, you know, when you make a lifestyle change like that. But once I kind of fell into it, I just knew that it's what I wanted to do. And I've kept that same routine since. So I was making my coffee, and when I was showing you all the coffee that I drink, I said I didn't know if they had a website or not, but actually right here at the bottom if you can see that. KYMountainCoffee.com. I'm not affiliated with this company. This is not a paid advertisement whatsoever. These people don't even know who I am, but I love their coffee and I support, you know, small business, local business. I don't know if this is a small business. They may be huge. I just purchased this from the local coffee shop, but I love their coffee, and they have like a plethora of flavors other than French toast and Mama's oatmeal cookie. But those are the two I recommend trying if you ever order from this company, because those two are really good. So I wanted to share that with you guys. All right, so here we are with meal 2, which is 200 grams of chicken, 100 grams of veggies, 2 grams of pink salt, 1 gram of no salt, which is this right here, because I got some questions about it, which is just strictly, it's just all potassium. It's no sodium. So 1 gram of no salt, 5 milliliters of macadamia nut oil, which is this here. And then I have a little bit of sriracha, or the Southwest mustard, on it. And if you can see the macros on this, I have been using this and honey mustard throughout all prep and my last prep. So there's that. So no rice on push-pull days. We have no rice in meal 2, and on rest days we have no rice in meal 2. On push-pull days, I have 100 grams of rice in meal 3 and meal 4, and then 75 grams of oats in meal 5. On non-training days, it's 75 grams of rice in meal 3, 75 grams of rice in meal 4, and 75 grams of oats in meal 5. Except leg days. Now I do get rice in meal 2 on leg days, and that's quite a treat to have that extra bit of rice right now. So currently we are about 2 weeks away from my first diet break of prep, which will also be a deload week as well. So we'll go into a diet break. I have no clue exactly what AJ's plans are with the food there, like how much it's going to go up, things like that. But we'll have a small diet break where the food will bump up just a little bit. We'll go into a deload week and then come out of that right back into the diet again. So that'll be nice to have that little bump up in food. I really honestly enjoy this. Like, it's hard, but that's what I enjoy about it. I enjoy that challenge because it is a challenge. And just finding something like this that is so challenging but yet so rewarding. You know, even at the end of the day, whatever happens at my show, you know, that I can control everything up to that point. I can control whether or not I'm putting all the effort into my training. I can control if I'm following the meal plan to the gram. I can control whether I'm hitting my steps every day or not. Those are all things within my control. Now come show day, it's up to the judges then. So I go in with the mindset that I'm gonna win. But obviously I know that it's up to the judges on that day. But that's how I just stay focused on what I'm supposed to be doing, and know that it will lead to a reward of some sort. Even if on the day of the show the judges decide to go with someone else other than me, I made it through it to be able to step on stage and compete. And I'm just grateful to be able to do it, because a lot of people aren't able to do it, and it's just a reward to be able to go to these shows and compete and have that ability. I just try not to take any of that stuff for granted. I'll try not to. But I posted something on my Instagram the other day about me visualizing, like, me not wasting a moment that I have. Just like any other person. I go to work every day. I take my child to daycare every morning. My wife works every day as well. So, you know, I'm gone from my son for 8 hours of the day. And then I come home. I spend some time with him that I can before I have to go and train. And I just try to, like, make myself not waste any of those moments. I'm going to the gym and I'm taking away that time that I could spend with my baby. And that's hard. That's really hard. I love training. I love going to the gym. And I know that I need that time for myself. But it's something that I struggle with, is like knowing that I'm leaving him for those couple hours throughout the day when I've already been away from him for 8. What type of person would I be if I went to the gym and just didn't put in effort? Like, I just can't allow myself to do that. Especially when it's taking away time from my family. And I don't say that in like a negative sense. I'm not trying to make it sound that way. I'm just saying, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to do it. And I'm going to put every ounce of effort I have into it. I'm going to make it count. I'm not going to waste it. And one reason, like I've said time and time again, I do a lot of this for my son. He may grow up and never want to lift weights a day in his life. I want to be able to show him that, like, the effort that you put in, you're going to reap the rewards of that effort. And it bleeds over into other aspects of your life too. And I want him to see that, like, if you set your mind to something, you know, you can accomplish it. Whatever you set your mind to, you can do it. It's hard work. It's not easy. There's sacrifices to be made. But you can do it. And I just want him to see that when he gets older and he has the thought in his head that he wants to go to school to be a whatever or do whatever, then he can look back and be like, well, you know, my dad went through all this while he worked, while he done this, while he XYZ. I can do it too. At least I hope that's what I'm doing. I hope that's what it does. I just want to lead by example, you know? You know, I grew up watching my dad work construction. And he's worked hard as long as I've known him. He's been just a hard worker. I do put that same mentality into bodybuilding and training, and obviously I didn't put it in the same areas as what my dad did, like construction. I've worked construction for a long time. But, you know, like, I took those fundamentals and put them into bodybuilding. And maybe that he can take the fundamentals of what I'm doing and apply it to whatever it is he wants to do in his life in the future. You know, my dad always taught me to work hard. If you want something, work hard for it. There were times when I was a young man sitting at home playing video games with my buddies. I'd sit up till 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning playing games with them. My dad would come in from work at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. I remember one time specifically, he came in and sit down and slept by the door. He said, "Hey, if you don't care, wake me up in about 2 hours." He literally came in, fell asleep in the chair by the door. I was sitting there playing Xbox with my friends. About 2.5 hours went by and I walked over and nudged him on the knee. I said, "Dad, you told me to wake you up." He said, "Okay, buddy, I love you." And he walked right back out the door and went to work. So, I've had that example laid out for me. And I plan to do the same for my son, Both my parents work. They work hard. And my whole life I've seen that, And like I said, I don't expect my son to grow up and want to be in bodybuilding or any of that. I just want him to take from what I'm doing and apply it to his life in some sort of way. The work ethic. But be humble about it at the same time. Because, I'm just a regular dude. I am nothing special. I just have dreams and goals and passion, and that's what I chase. But I'm not trying to get too deep on you guys. Normally this meal takes me like 2 seconds to inhale. But me sitting here talking to you guys, have made it last just a little bit longer. Also hoping, me and Joe are supposed to shoot a YouTube video today too. Like a training video. So hopefully I'll be able to get these two out, fairly soon. Full day of eating. Training video. Alright guys, so here is meal 3. 200 grams of chicken, 100 grams of veggies, 100 grams of jasmine rice, 2 grams of pink salt, 1 gram of no salt, and 5 milliliters of macadamia nut oil, with 3 swirls of just like regular honey mustard, which is this. I just get this from the store. And here's the macros on that. And then 3 swirls of the sriracha mustard. And this will be my pre-workout meal. And very simple, guys. It's a very, very simple meal plan, nothing crazy. But I enjoy it, really. So, gonna finish this up, and then I will take you guys through what I take before training. Show you guys a little bit of the supplementation that I just take on a daily basis. And then, yeah, we'll go get a training session in, then I'll come back and show you guys meals 4 and 5. But I'm gonna eat this one in some peace and quiet. All right, guys, so I'm gonna run you through real quick what I take before training and during training. So normally I don't take pre-workout throughout the week. I get to train a little bit early today, so I'm actually gonna take some pre-workout. But most of the time, it's the non-stim pump, some beta-alanine, and 5 grams of creatine. That's what I take before training. And then during training, 30 grams of intra, 20 grams of EAAs, and I will drink that during training. Like I said, I normally don't take pre-workout throughout the week, and I don't take in caffeine after 4 p.m. most of the time anyway, so I only take this on weekends that I know I'm going to get to train early. So I'm going to throw all this together, drink this, going to go train push, Joe and I are going to film a push video for the YouTube. Then when I get home, I will show you guys what meal 4, meal 5 looks like. So, gonna go train, and then I will see you guys after that. All right, guys, back from a push training session on meal 4 now. I'm gonna show you guys what I got going on for meal 4 here. So we got 200 grams of chicken breast, 100 grams of green veg, 100 grams of jasmine rice, 2 grams pink salt, 1 gram no salt, and 5 milliliters of macadamia nut oil, with a little bit of honey mustard and a little bit of spicy mustard. And then we have one more meal before bed. So shot a really good video for the YouTube channel today with Joe. Hopefully we can get that out to you guys soon. But yeah, gonna eat this meal, enjoy it, and then I will show you guys what I eat before bed. So, all right, guys, so last meal of the night. This is 75 grams of oats, 200 grams of blueberries, 50 grams of whey isolate protein, and 20 grams of melted dark chocolate in there. And what I do is I use the, oh, I'm fogged up. What I do is I use the peanut butter chocolate protein in this as well, and it tastes like a no-bake cookie. And if you've ever had no-bake cookies, you know that they're amazing, and I can't have no-bake cookies in prep, so this is the closest thing I get to that. And it's really good. So, going to take this meal and enjoy it and watch some TV with the wifey, and then go to bed and do it all over again tomorrow. So, thank you guys so much for watching. As always, very grateful. Really appreciate the support, and we'll be posting another video for you guys soon. Thanks, guys.